Hello, I'm TAP-G.
And I'm SurferClock.
Welcome to What's the Attraction,
where our work is your vacation.
Remakes. They're a thing, apparently. They began in earnest in 1996 with a live-action adaptation of 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close as Cruella de Vil. But the trend didn't really start until Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland in 2010, followed by Maleficent in 2014, starring Angelina Jolie. Then came Kenneth Branagh's Cinderella the following year. And believe it or not, there's still plenty more in the pipeline, from Winnie the Pooh with Margot Robbie slated to star, and Tim Burton tackling Dumbo. Disney's basically capitalizing on its old animation titles for new audiences. But Disney's better than that, right? Sequels! Direct-to-video poorly-made sequels! Allergies?
Gesundheit. At the time of this recording, the most recent of these is Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book, which features the talents of Bill Murray, Christopher Walken, Idris Elba, Ben Kingsley, and Scarlett Johansson. Fortunately for Disney, it was a huge success with a 94% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes and amassed over $900 million at the box office. Why fortunately? Well, for that, let's pull a little bit of the wibbly-wobbly timey-wimey and roll back the rock.
Roll back the rock?
Turn back the clock.
Turn back the clock!
And park your Hill Valley registered DeLorean all the way back to the year 2013!
You could have squeezed in at least a Rocky Horror time warp reference or something about the primeval world.
That was the year Disney made further announcements to detail Animal Kingdom's future, which already included plans for Pandora, the world of
Avatar.
Ever since it opened in 1998, Animal Kingdom has always been viewed by the general public as a half-day park. Due to ensuring the welfare of the animals, there was never an attempt made to add a nighttime entertainment. After all, when you're home to tigers, elephants, lions, and rhinos, it's best not to set off fireworks. Just saying.
But on that fateful day in 2013, that changed. Not only will the park stay open later, but also feature a nighttime projection show,
now known as Nighttime Awakenings,
a nighttime excursion on Kilimanjaro Safari,
now known as Nocturnal Awakenings,
and Rivers of Light,
now known as, quite possibly what's sitting at the bottom of Discovery River.
Some sources have claimed that at least one of the floats have sunk into the river, but as usual, Disney is mum as to whether or not it's true. In any case, while the two Awakening shows have already kicked off the 2016 summer season, Rivers of Light was conspicuously absent. Even though the show was slated to start back in April, here we are in July, and it still hasn't started. But, well now, what have we here?
It seems to be a brand new movie debuted based off of the 1894 Rudyard Kipling novel and a hit 1967 animated Disney movie. And look at that! The very rivers where the River of Light was supposed to play. Borders on the Asia section of the park, complete with a Nepalese/Indian subcontinent theme. What is happening here?
It should be noted this isn't Mowgli and Friends' first time at the Animal Kingdom. Back in 1998, the park was home to Journey into the Jungle Book, a rambunctious stage show that closed the following year with Tarzan Rocks and Finding Nemo the Musical in 2007.
But what the 2016 version of the movie had that the 1967 version didn't was gravitas. Said gravitas conveys a sense of natural spiritualism, harmony with nature, and cultural authenticity, three things the cartoon was pretty light on. And, as a bonus, it could synergize with the movie, which was still in the theaters at the time.
Somewhere, Michael Eisner's synergy sense is tingling.
So, on May 28th of 2016, The Jungle Book Alive with Magic opened, serving as a temporary placeholder until Rivers of Light is up and running. So, how does the show hold up?
Well, first, let's consider that they use a lot of Rivers of Light's established show elements, like the floats and the projection screen water fans, similar to those seen in Fantasmic. Also, no new dialogue or animation is created, so they just use what was already in the movie. But one significant difference is the use of musicians and dancers, all of whom evoke an authentic sense of reverence to the show, as opposed to the 1967 animated movie, which can't even tell on a scene-by-scene basis if Mowgli's skin is supposed to be as dark as an Indian or as pale as a white kid.
In terms of the story of the show, they're essentially retelling the movie. It uses the barest fragments of scenes projected on the water screens, snippets of dialogue, and the occasional musical number to give a vague semblance of a plot. The three songs that were used in the movie, Trust in Me, The Bare Necessities, and I Want to Be Like You, are used to a decent effect.
Though admittedly, The Bare Necessities here sounds like the cover version that was done for the intro to Jungle Cubs.
Jungle Cubs?
Oh, you know, that short-lived TV show based off the Jungle Book from the 90s?
Oh, you mean Tailspin?
No, seriously, it was a thing. It was with Baloo and Louie and Khan, Bagheera and Hathi and Shere Khan, and they were kids, and halfway through, Louie sounded like number 5 from Codename Kids Next Door, and Bagheera, Hathi, and Shere Khan all had American accents for some weird reason.
You sure it wasn't like a prequel or something?
I'm not making this up, I swear!
Is it Tailspin?
It's not Tailspin!
Okay, fine. I believe you.
Really?
Absolutely not. Ugh. So, in any case, what do we think of this brand new nighttime show?
The term wasted potential really comes to mind.
That definitely resonates with me, too. I mean, and not to discredit the performers of this show, because y'all are super energetic. Y'all are doing an amazing job. Keep up the great work. Keep up the great enthusiasm. But don't forget to question Disney on all that wasted potential.
Yeah, let's get the good stuff out of the way first. The singers and the choreography, it's absolutely magnificent. I mean, they really put a lot into it, and there's just so much beautiful cultural enthusiasm into the show. This is really probably our one and only exposure into Indian and Bollywood culture that Disney has ever done.
I've got to say, it has a lot of potential. It just squanders that potential by being a synergetic kind of deal.
Yeah.
But again, this is kind of something that this is what I would have thought of for a nighttime show for Animal Kingdom. Like, this is the kind of thing I would have kind of imagined. Maybe not the Bollywood elements, but definitely more that kind of naturalistic.
Yes, something very very down home, very full of nature and light and magic. Using natural set pieces, using natural light and natural musical instruments. Something very, for lack of a better term, earth and natural.
Yeah, that's, like I said, it's what I would have imagined an Animal Kingdom nighttime show to be. So kudos to them for that. Just,
For one thing, let's also consider that that this was also just thrown in at the last minute because they just happened to have a hit movie and they happened to have a nighttime show that wasn't operating. So they just kind of threw this together at the last minute. And given that, it's still a decent product, but looking at it as a general attraction, overlooking that, it feels like a lot of wasted potential.
You know, it makes me wonder, too, if the Jungle Book movie hadn't happened, what would they have done to replace it?
That's really an excellent question. They probably would have just waited until Rivers of Light was up and running, or at least done like half the show or something.
And by it, I, of course, meant, Rivers of Light, to, stand in as a placeholder. Would they have still done a nighttime show? And would it have been, themed, maybe it would have been themed to the old Jungle Book?
Probably not, because as you pointed out, as much I love the Kipling novel. I absolutely love reading that book, and I absolutely love the animated movie. But let's not kid ourselves. While The Lion King could go on and do this great African feel and African culture in their movie, The Jungle Book being such a witty, irreverent movie, it doesn't really pack that kind of... It's hard to really sneak in Indian culture into a movie like that. It's not doable, it's just very difficult given it's very, very, very Americanized.
Yeah, I do want to make just a couple of points about this as it relates to the actual Jungle Book part of the show. Now, this is the 2016 Jungle Book film. I mean, it was about, what, an hour 30, hour 40 or so?
Something like that.
Okay, so you've taken essentially the bare minimum. You have 3 songs that appeared in the film. Mm-hmm. You're essentially fast-forwarding through the entire plot.
Yeah.
Oh, and there were a couple of little bit of talking segments. Just really the most important things to understand Mowgli as a character.
So basically it just recaptured the same plot points. It's basically a Cliff Notes version of the movie.
How did this get to be 25 minutes long? And I guess the show itself is like 22 minutes when you consider that it takes a lot of time to set it up. But again, it feels really long for what it is. It feels like there was a bigger idea behind it, but then they just decided to insert Jungle Book clips and call it a Jungle Book show.
You know why I think it was padded out to that period of time?
Yeah.
Because they kept asking for audience to cheer them on a lot.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't even... Sorry, I almost forgot that they did that. I try to block it out of my mind.
If just a word to the wise, a little bit of armchair imagineering here. If you want to do a good show if you have enough energy and good writing and some great performances, you don't need, to remind your audience, hey, keep the enthusiasm going. It's not like you need to wind it up halfway through just to keep it going. So usually when you hear them going out into the audience say, make some noise, or they'll say like, Wolfpack howl.
That's the only thing that actually felt out of place in the show.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, that's, hey, Wolfpack, make some noise. It sounds like it sounds like straight out of Compton.
Yeah, it made it feel more like a rave, which really felt out of place for a show that was supposed to be authentic Indian.
Yeah, sorry, Jungle Book Alive with Magic points against you for that.
So it's ultimately patronizing, and all it does is pad out the show when you're just begging the audience to keep it going. So that's a major strike against it. It was too much. It was way too reliant on the 2016 movie. I mean, I really liked that movie, and I know you did too.
It was good.
You didn't care much for Baloo, or
Yeah.
at least the jerky moment that he had at that one point in the movie. But I think if this movie had a stronger Indian influence, more Bollywood, or if it just had more animals from the other Disney movies like Lion King or Tarzan or whatnot, this could have been spectacular. This could have been insanely beautiful. But because this was thrown together, what we got is what we got. Synergy and something just kind of slapped together.
I honestly want to say, and again, armchair imagineering here, this could totally work at any other venue within Animal Kingdom. I mean, maybe they haven't built it yet, but guys, get that venue built, because you take this kind of Disney Bollywood energy, because I mean, that's a demographic that I don't think has been very highly considered.
But there's a lot of them that come to the parks.
Yes, and that's just from that kind of subcontinent country.
Yeah, the subcontinent, the country, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge demographic, and honestly, it's kind of delightful to see Disney actually kind of going after that. So, you take this, you put it in another venue, you generalize the theme to be about all the things that Animal Kingdom is about, you make that a nighttime show, my friend, you've got a hit on your hands.
To quote Fry from Futurama, shut up and take my money.
Yeah, but as far as this show goes, I'm kind of middle of the road about it. I don't dislike it inherently.
It's harmless.
It's mostly harmless. But I would say this is right in the middle of the road for me. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay, for me, I love the Jungle Book too much, and it's hard for me to look down on it in any way. But between the great performances and the choreography, but then on the other hand, there is the fact that they just reused clips and the whole make some noise thing. It's a tough call for me. I'm gonna go with like a 3 out of 5 or so. Way too much synergy, not too much time and effort, but given that Rivers of Light is on its way, I don't really blame them to an extent. So yeah, 3 out of 5.
Okay, yep, that's fair, but I'm not quite jumping up to that point. Sorry, not working today. So that is a 2.5 out of 5 from SurferClock and a 3 out of 5 from TAP-G.
It's decent nighttime entertainment, though honestly, I'd rather take in the splendor of Nighttime Awakenings or the intensity of Nocturnal Awakenings. It's not bad, it's just kinda cool.
I'd say if nothing else, it's inoffensive at best. It's not bad, it's just kind of, well, stock. When Rivers of Light is ready, we'll see what that stage was truly made for.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, come on, Surfer Buddy, let's get back to where we belong and get with the beat. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about...
What are you doing?
I'm doing the thing from the cartoon.
Okay.
Never mind.
Well, I'm SurferClock.
And I want to be like you, hoo-hoo.
And we're What's the Attraction?
Where our work is your vacation.
I swear to you, it's Tailspin.
It's not Tailspin!